Is it really true that gaining access to the world's most secure buildings, powerful institutions, and sensitive information always requires advanced technology, expensive equipment, or complex hacking skills? If you've watched enough spy movies or read thriller novels, you probably imagine laser grids, secret tunnels, sophisticated surveillance systems, and highly trained agents carrying out dangerous missions. However, according to many security experts, former intelligence officers, and researchers who have studied this subject for years, the reality is often very different. In many cases, the weakest point in any security system is not a computer, a biometric scanner, or a reinforced steel door. It is the human being standing behind them. Imagine a luxurious gala attended by influential politicians, business leaders, diplomats, and high-profile guests. Expensive cars pull up one after another as elegantly dressed people walk through the entrance. Crystal chandeliers illuminate the hall, while conversations flow between powerful individuals. In the middle of this crowd, a person quietly enters. He carries no hacking device, no weapon, and no sophisticated gadget. He does not force his way through security checkpoints, nor does he attempt to break into any system. Instead, he simply becomes part of the environment. He smiles, shakes hands, introduces himself, and begins conversations. Within a short period of time, he seems as though he naturally belongs there. Nobody questions his presence. Nobody wonders why he is there. And that is where one of the most fascinating aspects of human psychology begins to reveal itself. Security specialists often explain that the human brain is designed to make rapid judgments. Every day we encounter hundreds of faces, voices, and situations. It would be impossible to carefully analyze every single person we meet, so our minds rely on mental shortcuts. If someone appears confident, dresses appropriately for the setting, and behaves like everyone else around them, we instinctively become less suspicious. This process happens so naturally that most people never even notice it. A confident smile, polished appearance, and comfortable social behavior can sometimes achieve what even the most advanced technology cannot. One former security consultant explained during an interview that people tend to focus on locks, cameras, and access cards while forgetting a simple reality. Every security system ultimately depends on human decisions. If the right person believes you belong somewhere, many barriers disappear on their own. This principle has appeared repeatedly throughout history, not only in intelligence operations but also in corporate fraud, financial scams, and countless social engineering incidents. What makes this topic especially interesting is that it extends far beyond the world of espionage. The same psychological mechanisms influence our everyday lives. Think about how quickly a stranger can become familiar. Sometimes, a brief conversation is enough to create a sense of trust. Researchers in psychology have found that people naturally feel more comfortable around individuals who seem similar to them. Shared interests, common backgrounds, familiar language, and similar experiences all help build connections. These connections can be powerful because trust often develops long before facts are verified. Historical accounts frequently describe situations where information was obtained not through force, threats, or technological intrusion, but through relationships. A conversation during a conference, an introduction at a networking event, or a casual discussion at a social gathering could eventually lead to access to valuable knowledge. What makes these situations remarkable is that the people sharing information often had no idea they were contributing to something larger. To them, it felt like a normal conversation. To someone with different intentions, however, it could be an opportunity. Psychologists often point out that humans are social creatures by nature. We build friendships, establish professional networks, share stories, and exchange experiences. These qualities help societies function and allow communities to grow. At the same time, they can create vulnerabilities. The very traits that help us connect with others can sometimes be used against us by individuals who understand human behavior exceptionally well. Consider a simple example. Two strangers meet at an event and discover that they grew up in the same city. Instantly, the interaction feels warmer. Or perhaps they support the same sports team, attended similar schools, or share a hobby. Suddenly, the distance between them seems smaller. This is not magic. It is psychology. Shared experiences create familiarity, and familiarity often creates trust. The process feels natural because it is deeply rooted in human behavior. As technology has evolved, security systems have become increasingly sophisticated. Artificial intelligence now monitors suspicious activity. Biometric scanners verify identities, and advanced algorithms detect unusual behavior. Yet despite all these advancements, human psychology remains largely unchanged. People are still influenced by first impressions. They still associate confidence with competence. They still tend to trust individuals who appear successful, educated, or socially accepted. This is why experts continue to emphasize the importance of the human factor in security. A well-known researcher once wrote that if you truly want to understand a system, do not only study its technology, study the people who use it. Machines follow rules. Human beings respond to emotions, expectations, relationships, fears, ambitions, and social influence. That reality explains why so many stories involving intelligence operations, corporate investigations, and security breaches often revolve around ordinary conversations rather than dramatic technological breakthroughs. Popular films often portray intelligence work as a series of high-speed chases, secret gadgets, and daring break-ins. Reality is usually far less dramatic and far more subtle. Significant information is often exchanged in quiet rooms, during ordinary meetings, and through seemingly harmless discussions. Some of the most valuable insights in history were not uncovered through sophisticated equipment, but through human interaction. This is what makes the subject so compelling. At its core, it is not really a story about espionage. It is a story about trust. Why do we trust some people almost immediately, while remaining cautious around others for years? Scientists suggest that many factors influence these decisions. Facial expressions, body language, tone of voice, clothing, social status, and perceived similarities all play a role. Most importantly, these judgments frequently occur beneath our conscious awareness. We often form opinions before we realize we are doing so. Because of this, security professionals consistently encourage critical thinking. They remind people not to assume that a polished appearance, impressive credentials, or confident speech automatically indicate honesty or good intentions. Verification, careful judgment, and healthy skepticism remain essential tools in both professional and personal environments. Many major organizations have recognized this reality and adapted their training programs accordingly. Employees are no longer taught only how to create strong passwords or identify suspicious emails. They are also educated about human psychology, social influence, and the methods people use to gain trust. This shift reflects an important understanding. Security is not only about protecting systems from machines, it is also about protecting people from manipulation. Looking back through history, one lesson appears repeatedly. Power has never been defined solely by money, technology, or physical force. Information has always been one of the most valuable assets in the world. And access to information often depends on relationships. Social circles, professional networks, business gatherings, and personal connections have long played important roles in shaping events behind the scenes. Many people assume danger is obvious when it appears. They imagine threats arriving in dramatic forms. Yet some of the most effective forms of influence appear completely harmless. A friendly smile, a casual question, a shared interest, a familiar face. These simple elements can be incredibly powerful because they operate through trust rather than fear. Perhaps the most surprising truth is that many of the strongest walls in the world are not built from concrete, steel, or advanced technology. They are built from trust. Trust helps create friendships, businesses, institutions, and entire societies. It allows people to cooperate and achieve goals together. Yet trust, when given without caution, can also become a vulnerability. For this reason, experts repeatedly emphasize that the strongest defense in the modern world is not merely advanced technology. It is awareness. It is the ability to think critically, verify information, and avoid making decisions based solely on appearances. Technology will continue to evolve. Artificial intelligence will become more powerful. Security systems will become increasingly sophisticated. Yet human psychology will remain one of the most important keys to understanding how influence, trust, and information truly work. And perhaps that is the greatest lesson of all. No matter how advanced the world becomes, many of the most important doors are still opened not by machines, but by the human mind.